Straight up, it seems like with this Jax pick, the most likely pick you're going to get in terms of damage here to shore up what is a utility bottom lane here with a rocky front line is the Azir. You have good follow-up to the setup CC with the Ashe Arrow and the Sejuani. But now Liv Sandbox is just like, well, if you want to play this great pick, well, I've already picked a Khalid, even though it's blind. Will Bulldog have the answer?
And Willer still has not taken his red buff. And this is something that you can do if you want to save your red buff for a time where you will be more effective with the red buff. If you take it earlier, you're using a lot of that damage on jungle camps, which can be nice for clearing a little bit faster. But if you take the red buff absolutely last, can be a somewhat greedy thing to do, but it does allow you a little bit more time to potentially affect your lanes with that buff.
Yeah. Youngjae comes over here, way up in the lane, Envy.
Oh, Kyle in a little bit of trouble. He is going to blow the flash. The flash comes in from Youngjae, though, as he's not quite able to get the kill. And here comes the counter gank now from the side of Willer, who does have double buff. He just picked up that red as now heal. Going to be used on the side of Kwangdong. And Youngjae doesn't have flash anymore, so first blood goes to the Caitlyn. And Envy's feeling pretty nice about this position. Unfortunate re-debut, you could say, in the first match against DK. Nobody's going to forget that one if you saw it. But ever since then, he's gotten a lot more aggressive, a lot more self-confidence, and I think that definitely comes down to himself and also the coaching staff supporting him through his hard times. So it's nice to see him in a position like this on the Caitlyn, just running straight into Jhin. Ashe looking for the plays as Taeyoon, they're trying to force his blast, but the root still comes down, and that is going to be another kill for the Caitlyn. And as Envy looking for a little bit more, even going to force the barrier from June. This bottom lane is pretty much over.
The gank timing here is perfect too, and Youngjae knows he can't actually compete with Willer at this stage. Youngjae taking a very nice pathing here all the way around, has 6 and flashback available.
Yeah, a little bit of an opportunity here. There is the arrow, and the flash in front! Kyle says no! And Envy still dies, but it was really cool!
Oh man!
Double kill.
Kyle, you know, he has this.
Taeyoon.
He has that, you know, colon slash face, you know, the sideways grimace here after that one because he made an incredible play. It didn't ultimately end up mattering.
Now, Willer is coming down here, but it might not matter as again, Kyle's gonna get in front, but this time he has to die for it as they're trying to get on top of Envy. But here is Willer looking for the follow-up as Envy will be dodging those as Willer does get in front, but the damage not quite enough. And he will get frozen and killed at the end of the trade.
And some heroic plays again. Ticks down Youngjae, but it's not going to actually amount to it. They do save Envy.
Oh, little trade here, big wave, but Dudu's just going forward, says he can't really get out. There's the stun, and there's Dudu getting a solo kill.
And Birdall, you can see it on his...
who opted into that one.
You can see it on his player cam. We've seen so many of these moments where Birdall almost does it right, and this is not an issue where he misplayed. He just miscalculated the damage there.
Excellent arrow.
Excellent arrow. It's the crossfire here because you could tell Envy and Kyle knew there was a possibility Sejuani's in there, but they actually didn't consider the angle from the arrow coming top side there. Willer flashes forward here for the knockup, but it's not enough to actually turn this one around, so he loses flash and does die. Birdall with the Narbar here on the Hyperproc feels like he's in a good spot here to actually take this, pushes him into the wall, but unfortunately Counter-Strike is going to be pretty good, and when he flashes here, he actually turns.
Totally fine. As an arrow straight into the Gnar, as under the turret, Dudu is looking for the kill. He's not going to get it, and down he will go. Baited in by the Ashe arrow.
So there are just no secrets.
Okay. Nice sidestep from Envy. Didn't have to use or do anything really.
I mean, what is your angle here as Liv Sandbox? You're relying on Narbar.
Oh no. Yeah, here comes the poke. And Envy not going to do the same for Kyle that Kyle did for him. And Envy also going to get poked out. And, you know, oftentimes when we have a lot of team fighting.
Eliminates the Wukong flank. And it's just kind of a checkmate game as here we go.
They're trying to get on top of Youngjae as Youngjae trying to help out June. Very nice assault over the wall, but Envy's able to sneak in a little ace in the hole. There you go. They do get that one kill. Maybe this will be a little bit of...
You get a kill here, but what does it mean if you can't get anything from it?
Taeyoon, gotta be careful, buddy. This time he's got Gale Force to get out. As now we've got a teleport flank. Taeyoon is just dead, as the positioning was not good there in the mid lane. Big arrow into Kyle, but they don't really care about that. Another but certainly does give Kwangdong some edges versus a vision control.
The Flame Horizon of Vision score here that June is picking up.
As now we're trying to get on top of Bulldog. Feels like the first time I've seen the Azir use buttons in this game, as Closer is going to get in there and kill him, but might be able to get out here. He gets a big heal and a big shield, and Closer went on an assassination mission and gets sniped by Taeyun. This time Kyle not able to get in front of that one. He was in front of him, but it like tipped his head or something.
They are rushing this down here before the Drake
trying to get this as Kwangdong are getting in position. We do have Meganar actually at an important time now as in goes Youngjae. Nobody denies him, and this fight is so early from the side of Willer, and this time he gets it stolen away. Youngjae will go down in the end, but absolutely the better trade for Kwangdong.
This is so important for Kwangdong to secure right now, lest this game slipped out of their fingers.
Now Bulldog trying to poke away. You see Meganar is in here. Bertle is trying to do something, but he just immediately gets pushed away as, yes, the Infernal Drake will go the way of Liv Sandbox. As now Kyle gonna get sniped out of vision. A nice shot from Taeyun, but it is Liv Sandbox stopping the Infernal Soul. And that might mean the end of the push. They might try to get the last little bit here with this last push, as Willer's got a great angle, able to get behind Youngjae, flashes on top of Taeyun, even has a stopwatch, as that should be enough to keep him alive, as now the sweep just misses everything. And Bulldog now is in a terrible spot. Down he will go. And the push maybe went on for a couple seconds too long. Yeah, Sandbox still trying to use their Caitlyn. Envy doing a good job.
And there's a huge wave bottom, and Dudu has teleport, so Liv Sandbox have to be scared about Baron trades and also that Jax just teleporting in and ending the game. So if they get caught here on backs by June, it's disastrous. So Bertle has to go back. They should be able to identify this, so now they're just going to start up the Baron. And like I said, if you're the one on Soul Point, you can't afford to do these trades.
Yeah, they're definitely going to try to push in with the Baron and try to end the game before the Infernal Soul comes up. That will definitely make it worth it. Envy in a very bad spot, but he does have the stopwatch. No flash in this case, but still is enough. Look at the poke damage now that's coming out from the Jhin, from the Azir, and they are going to take down all of these inhibitors.
This composition from Kwangdong Freaks just had such a clear identity, and it was utilized so well.
All right, here comes Closer. He's trying to do it all by himself as he takes an incredible amount of damage, and in goes Bulldog, just going to take him out. This should be the end of the game as Dudu is just terrorizing people in the backside as well, as he's got that turret on him, but he does not care. Down will go the Nexus. Kwangdong able to push in and end at 37 minutes.
But overall, this was a very clean game from Kwangdong Freaks, and this team just suddenly seems like it's very unlocked now that June has joined the roster, as we've seen. But he's going to pick it up regardless here, so you're looking at, right now, as Liv Sandbox, a little bit of pressure topside with the Jace into the Gnar. Can be a very strong matchup there. Azir early prio into the Akali. And then what you're hoping is going to be a lane that's controlled by Caitlyn Lux on the bottom side here for Liv Sandbox. But as Youngjae showed us in the previous game, doesn't always go that way. You've really got to be careful about where your vision is set up, and even a ward in the Tri-Brush on the River Brush.
Although it does look like, with a little bit of a push in mid, perhaps they want to go for an early Drake, or at least some early pressure into the enemy jungle.
I think this is wise.
Okay, they're going to Twisted Advances. Now they're trying to get the damage onto a Sejuani. That's not what you want to see, as Youngjae is just dead. Bulldog is going in 1v4. Yeah, that was...
That was very forced, let's say, and a really nice punish.
Extremely forced.
A really nice punish from Liv Sandbox, and you know you have a lot of resistances to break through on this Aftershock Sid, and really not too significant at this point in time. Youngjae is really trying to fish for an angle here. If he gets his, ult off here, or sets up a play, doesn't have flash, maybe you could find it.
I mean, Closer saw him. I'm not sure why he's still here. He's going to sweep them away, but in goes Bulldog. He's looking for the kill under the turret. One more auto will do it. Closer, maybe just thinking he would have enough to get away, but it was certainly not enough. Trying to get stuff out of Closer early and fight for vision, as now they're going to go all in onto the Sejuani, but Youngjae is all alone in there, and down he will go. Gets a bit of damage on the Kyle, but yeah, that's just going to be Liv Sandbox forcefully taking the fight, taking down Youngjae. They will, I suppose, a little bit unlucky for Liv Sandbox, as they are going to take down this Rift Heralds. Do see that Kwangdong are kind of grouping up for this one, considering getting on in there, as Dudu is no longer with us. Down he will go, and Bertle just gets a free solo kill, essentially. very nicely done, as Dudu, not respecting that, did not even flash.
Closer has flash and ult too, and he was actually setting up potentially a trap there on the other side of the fight. This is just extremely one-sided here. And this lull state feels so advantageous for Live Sandbox. And
are they gonna try to kill Burrow? Carry? No. Okay. Just getting worried there. June was like running down to the bottom side.
The second they show like that, they're just gonna push mid.
Chains of Corruption come through. Nothing is hitting for the side of Kwangdong. Live Sandbox will respect it though. They're gonna back away and just throw out a Maokai ultimate. A bunch of ultimates being thrown through. The laser into Youngjae's face doesn't really matter for him. He's got a Warmox, but take a look at what's happening. Meanwhile, Bertle's just getting free stuff down on the bottom side. Bulldog's like, maybe I can trade with you.
Nope.
No.
The answer is no.
You can't, actually. Well, it looks like Live Sandbox might just be a little bit late to the party as the ult comes in onto Willer, as now Meganar in the front is just going to be burned down 100-0. That is a Fed Jace and an Azir with Leandries.
Yep.
So he's just dead.
This could be a Baron angle, because we are getting to the point where this damage is real. You got a Leandries Azir. Clear this vision real quick. You know that you got that pick on the Dudu. He has TP, but he's not going to have an R-bar, so just force this one down. You can win a fight here if you can turn, and you have the choke point control with Control Ward here, Caitlyn traps. Good luck, Kwangdong Freaks.
Yeah, the zone control is insane, and they do flash away from the Emperor's Divide. I think the Live Sandbox could have just gone for this, but they're scared about the flip. They don't want Youngjae to steal it away again. That might actually be a good call. They don't know exactly where he is. They're trying to zone him away while also hitting the Baron. Definitely a risky call, as now Envy's over the wall. He's so low, as now they're in the pit. They get on in there, and Maokai's going to be the one that takes the Baron. So Live Sandbox thanking their lucky stars, I guess, as Willer will be forced to flash out of this one. Not 100% sure, but it's what it looked like to me on second watch.
A little bit of a potential for the Forest to kind of help steal that one away too in this type of draft of this composition.
Yeah.
As we've seen Gumayusi do on many occasions. This is where you have insane poke and a really long leash with the Maokai ultimate that Kwangdong Freaks have to respect. If they try to flank, if they try to actually collapse here, Maokai ult comes out. If you do nothing, here it comes.
There's the Maokai ult. They do not commit to the dive, as in goes Taeyun. Really trying to force this fight, actually. Just straight up, they are going to get a lot of damage, and Envy as down goes to Caitlyn again. And Bertle is alone on the front line. He does insane amounts of damage, but they will shut him down. I don't know. Maybe D+ is okay at the D. Youngjae in a little bit of trouble, as he is very tanky, but it doesn't matter. He's just going to get sweeped up again. Feels like I've seen this before.
Yeah, Closer just hates the Sejuani, man.
Yeah.
You feel safe. You're like, well, they're not going to look for this because they'll lose a lot of utility in the team fight. Nope. No jungler, no steal available. And unfortunately for Kwangdong Freaks, they set up that vision. They went for a back timing. And then we're not in position for this at all. Had to fight through the choke point and just, that's it. Sejuani's deleted. Bulldog was off on the side.
Is it going to be enough? He does have some pretty insane assassination potential. This is Meganar as well. They're looking for Closer, who just flashed, as now he's going to be dogpiled here on the bottom side. They will be able to get this Azir, as in goes Bertle, who just destroys the Varus and knocks Youngjae in, as Bertle says, nuh-uh, we are not losing this game, not like this.
Great play from Bertle.
Bulldog will go back just to his doom, and now they're TPing into mid. It looks like Live Sandbox want to end this game.
Looks like we're going to a game 3 here, Valdez. Favorites Live Sandbox dropping the ball a little bit in the early parts of game 1. The oppressive vision letting the Ashe through, but going into game 2 with a little bit more of a standard draft here. Second game for Kyle on the Lux. They're going to pick up the W. So much damage here on this Jace that even though you pick off the Azir, he buys enough time, and Bertle, level 18, swings around.
Well, that's just not fair. June's just going to be 100-0'd, as Willer just pressed a twisted advance button. Dudu might be able to take him down, and that he does. But the team that's taking down the Nexus is Live Sandbox. They will take game number 2.
Look at the damage here on Bertle.
Looks like game 1 just for the other team, as I guess Red Side is having some fun today. And yeah, it really was the Bertle show. Like, Closer had some moments for sure with some of his pickoffs onto Youngjae, but again, it does feel like both teams are struggling a little bit in terms of communication and when to go in as a team still.
It's not a free win by any means, and there's still a lot of power in the mid game in this draft here for Live Sandbox if the Narbar can be managed correctly. but it's a tough matchup to play into Cassante if you make even one mistake in sides or in the early game. Can get ganked, and Youngjae is going to be putting most of his focus, you have to imagine, on the top side here outside of an early protection of the Zeri Lulu, because the Illusion Nami is always going to have that pushing power. It is going to be cleanse for Zeri, heal for the Lulu, so no barrier, kind of already letting us know that this is not going to be their attempt to try to win this lane early and look for the early all-in. Much tougher to pull off with this set, so for here, be an interesting timing to try to threaten this Azir. It does scan this river.
Wow, they're really trying to get the splash out early from closer, and that they will. And now your Azir, who, you know, by the time the next gank comes through, you'll probably be level 6, but so will Bulldog, and he'll have flash. As, okay, they're just trying to follow up here. I mean, this is an incredible amount of pressure onto the mid laner of Liv Sandbox, who is probably going to have to back now.
Yeah.
I mean,
something's not right. Did Viego flash a wall or something? Like,
yeah.
This is too easy.
It looked too good to be true. Speaking of which, Dudu looks like a pretty easy target, although Willer is really struggling with the angle, and now I think he's too late. They're going to get the ghost if he had just coming from behind, and that's going to be really nice for Youngjae to try to put on some pressure. You could see the bottom lane still in the same situation. Willer's just literally standing here. As the culling comes out, not very effective, but it does zone them.
Still late Maokai ult here.
It's going to come through into Wild Growth. June just going to flash over it, and they're trying to turn this onto Kyle now. Who did take a lot of damage, and they have some vision of that brush, but they say, well, we survived the gank. That's good enough. As now, trying to get over the wall is Dudu, and Bertle's just going to flash it. But we've liked him a lot more on stuff like Silas and Akali, but not this time.
He's a very similar player to Zeka, where you're like, okay, you don't hate the Azir, but
Ooh, now he's getting pushed under the turret. Really nice divide, but now you've kind of made yourself on parity in health with Bulldog, who has his teleport and will have the rod.
Yeah.
Messing up the unstoppable as here comes Bulldog now.
Yeah, this is really well hidden too.
It's not really a wave, and it's going to get cleared out pretty nicely here, but this is Mini Gnar. Might not matter, as they might just go for a plain dive, as no flash is available, and yep, over the wall they go! And Bertle should be going down here in just a moment, right? Right? Okay, in goes Dudu. He is going to pick up the kill, as First Blood goes to the Cassante at 12.5 minutes.
This will cause Bulldog to drop a wave here in mid.
Sure. We are getting on top of Gnar here. Bertle in a bit of trouble. Is the damage enough is the question. The Heartbreaker comes through, but it's Mega Gnar right at that timing, as it looks like Youngjae will go down. They do get the kill, and Bertle's just, he's very relieved, I should say.
Yeah, he's very animated about this, but I think he should be happy with how he handled that. And anywhere close to being ready to fight. Our Silas has a rod, but it's not stacked up. Yeah. So some respect will be shown.
And it's, you know, it shows the gold ahead for them, but a lot of that gold is in the top lane. And Dudu's going to have to go carry Cassante, I guess. As the timing of this unfortunate for the Kwangdong Freaks boys, but very nice for Bertle, who is able to convert at least the one kill after getting dove.
미안.
I'm sorry, guys.
진짜 태연아.
so sorry. And he actually, despite playing that really well defensively, was way too far out beforehand. You could see in the replay, so that's why I think he's more frustrated about rather than turning the kill back. But yeah, he knows he overextended and leads to a kill here, just not showing the respect needed when Youngjae is missing.
That'll be good for starting up fights anyway.
Dudu coming down with Ghost here.
Culling.
Much damage.
There's some pretty relevant damage as it stands now. Lulu not a lot of sustain compared to some of the other Enchanted supports.
I mean, Leandri's too on top of this. Kwangdong Freak's in trouble. Need to get out of here. This should be the Drake going over. Now you have to fight your way through this choke point, or somehow get Dudu in here with this Cassante. I mean, look at the damage.
Buzz is doing a really good job of just saying, you guys can't touch me. And, okay, that is the Maokai ultimate stolen and put through, but immediately there's way too much from Closer, and they do avoid that very nicely, but they still can't take down the Azir. They finally do, as he did go extremely far, and there was no follow-up from the rest of the team. Dudu is looking for a bit more, but this is Mega Gnar right now, and he is alone, dashes straight into a bubble. He is Cassante, so he's still going forward somehow. As Bulldog alone, and it's only a matter of time, I guess, right? Maybe? Okay, down he will go. God, that champ is very interesting. And he will get out.
Interesting is the caster word we use. It's our caster safe word.
Yeah. As Kyle's going to face check a brush, and he will have to flash away. Was it an elaborate bait all alone? Looks like it. As down will go the Zeri.
Their damage their damage dealer has to be the one who actually punishes, so he puts himself in range of an Emperor's Divide, and that should be another turret going down here in mid. And Birdall having a good time in the side lane right now too, just kind of over here, untouched.
This is so incredibly scary and risky right now. Kwangdong are going to be looking for the turn, but massive tidal wave into Maokai ultimate, and everybody's just taking huge amounts of damage. I mean, Birdall's not even near as Bulldog is looking for the Maokai. As in we go, that's the real one from the Azir, as Closer's able to put them all down and get some insane damage done. Now Birdall TP's back into the fight. To get into this one, the Zeri threatening. Dudu is incredibly tanky, and Bulldog is not. He has to Zhonya's, he has to get Wild Growth. That is a couple of big pieces now of the puzzle that are gone.
Layered them together too, and he has Flash Gnar, but he's just too low.
Youngjae just getting zoned away. Fantastic job by Birdall, in perfect position to zone them with his body and with his Gnar ultimate. That is going to be 2 kills. This Liv Sandbox a very safe Baron take.
And this guarantees Elder. It's up in 45 seconds here. TP, though, into mid, and I think they would just want to push their advantage down to Inhibitor at least first. They may be able just to end the game here. Bulldog's not up for 40. Late death really hurting him here. With all these minions and all the damage they have, it's pretty crazy. I think they're just going to push to end. If anything goes wrong, though, you've got that Elder to fall back on.
Yeah.
Looks like it's all said and done.
Yeah. Closer is so incredibly strong right now that even Dudu cannot tank against this, as Tatum's just going to get hit by a Maokai ultimate. This game is pretty much done and dusted as Birdall gets pulled back by the Cassante, who unfortunately got fed, and I mean, he's on top of Closer. He's going to take down Closer, but a little bit too little too late. He's going to get walloped, and then the Nexus will also get walloped as down it goes. Liv Sandbox take the series 2-1.
Forced to back, but he just still came back in swinging. Look at the difference in impact he made this game versus Bulldog. Bulldog just farmed a rod, and then that was the end of it. That's not the 6.9 you're going to give a nice to. You know,
this is 3 games in a row where the winning team has a huge boatload of damage, and then the losing team just has like nothing. It's crazy.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Jisun for the PFG interview on the side of Liv Sandbox after taking down Kwangdong Freaks. We are here joined by Birdall, Closer. Congratulations. You guys just beat Kwangdong Freaks and added another win to your pocket. Birdall, how do you feel about this win? Today, it was definitely a very rough win, and my plays left so much to be desired. So, but still, I'm just relieved that we won. Birdall, this is your first PUG for the Spring Split. In Game 2, draft went so well, and I was able to have, you know, a good time on the top lane, but my skill shot was a mess in teamfights, but I got PUG, so I was like, okay, this is good. And Closer, how do you feel about today's series? I was so bummed to lose our previous match, but I'm so glad that we were able to get this win today. And today, Caitlyn was led through for both Game 1 and 2. Why do you think so? I guess Kwangdong kind of learned how to deal with Caitlyn. I guess that was their plan. So Envy played Caitlyn in Game number 1 without cleanse. So he was struggling a lot for sure. He was taking heal instead. Why was that? I think he wanted to, focus on the lane a little bit more, and then we had some mistakes, and it didn't really work. And back to Birdall in Game 2. So Caitlyn decided to take cleanse, and then we had some better performance on the side of Liv Sandbox. So after losing Game number 1, what kind of feedback did you guys have? We had, a lot of minor mistakes in Game 1, so we wanted to get rid of them as much as possible. And also Jace Jace is a very good rotation champion for us, you know, for top and mid lane. So it worked out really well. So we got a very clean win in game 2, and you were the center of that victory. So let's get back to the draft we had in game number 2. Jace actually played under a lot of pressure of potential ganks. However, you still went for the blind Jace, and you actually, Lipsenko actually went for a lot of ban cards towards the top lane. Dudu, he's really good at melee champions, so we definitely wanted to keep our eyes on them. We wanted to make sure that we're going to remove all the best champion Dudu plays. Then, Bertle, what's your thought on Nar, Jace matchup? Jace definitely has the edge. He can farm easily, and as long as he can do that, he can get items and he can have lead. And then we exactly had the desired Jace Nar matchup, so I was pretty happy. Xante was banned for 2 games in a row, and then you guys decided to let it through in game 3. And Dudu's Xante was undefeated so far. Why was that? Yeah, we knew that he was like 3-0 in Xante prior to today. But game 3, we didn't really have, you know, the luxury to ban out his Xante because we had so many cards to just ban out. So we decided to, you know, maybe we should just deal with it. Deal with Dudu's Xante. And closer, we had Akali Azir matchup repeated, and then you were playing Azir in game 3 and 1 POG. Closer, when were you so good at Azir? I was one of the, you know, Azir hater in the past. I was like, I will never be good at this champion. And then last summer split, I was like, I really have to play this. I really have to know how to play Azir. So I was just like spamming Azir on solo queue, and I got confident at it. Now, I'm pretty confident in my Azir performance. And a lot of people were really surprised by Lip Sandbox, how they draft on the mid lane, how they set up the matchup on the mid lane. Is that because of Ryu? Yeah, I mean, he knows about mid a lot, as you guys know, so he understands how mid laners will feel under, you know, some sort of situations or matchups, so it's great to work with Ryu right now. And Closer, you are now having the sole possession of the POG first place. You are just on the up and up, ramping up every week. What has changed the most since last year? Last summer, I was actually, you know, like doing a great job, and then I was feeling a lot better because I got to play with my friends. You know, we are all like in a very similar age group, so we are really like friends. So I get to, you know, lead my team, have a lot of communications. And your upcoming opponent will be DRX, a very interesting matchup coming up. And we always just like have the ceremony awarding at the beginning of the week, and it's always Lip Sandbox players. Do you have anything other planned for the upcoming match? I do have something in my mind, but all of my teammates just love to, you know, put on a show. So you guys better tune in for the ceremony part. Well, if I carry as a top laner, I'm gonna do some ceremony, so maybe next time. Looking forward to seeing some Bertle ceremony after that DRX series coming up. And this will be the end of the interview from Closer Bertle. And back to Atlas, Dahun, and Chronic Cackler. Thank you.